Do you have a gambling problem?
No, I enjoy it. It's a hobby. If I had a problem, I'd be starving. I'd be hawking this watch. My championship rings, I would sell my house. I would do this. My wife would left me, or she'd be starving. My kids would be starving. I do not have a problem. I enjoy gambling.
Welcome to the Round Robin with J-Mac and Condor. Just like
Condor.
It's
Should we like
Welcome.
Red Robin? Round Robin.
Yum.
Yeah. And then that's the intro.
Okay, so
Big day in the NBA, especially for the Warriors. Missing out on yet another free agent prospect.
Larry Markkinen signed 5 years, $238 million with the Jazz, and he waited until today. So I don't know if we haven't been talking about this. And so leading up to today, they had until yesterday to figure out a trade for him because they needed to get him before the 6th so that they could then extend him. And now that he extended today, he cannot be traded through the calendar NBA season. So he can't be moved at the deadline. He's locked in. And he had a player option for this season. So he ended up making like an extra $40 million because his contract he was supposed to get this year is now taken and wiped out. And he gets his new contract starts like today. So he's staying in Utah. Part of what the thought is that Utah was going to try and convince him to sign before the 6th so that they could trade him if they wanted to go into tank mode later this season. I was thinking about that on the run, by the way. Quick interrupt myself. I've coined the phrase for the tank-a-palooza that's going to happen this season because I don't know if you saw the clips from Cooper Flagg playing against Team USA, but he's sick. And so it's sandbag. It's sandbag for Cooper. Sandbag for Cooper.
Sandbag for Flagg.
Yeah, it's the sandbag for Flagg. Just when you start to hear it around, we just need to remember that I've coined it.
Sandbag for Flagg.
Yeah, sandbag for Flagg.
Well,
so
we should run back that segment, and then you say sandbag for Flagg if they can't, in case they wanted to sign him before January 6th, so they could sandbag for Flagg. Just casually say it. I think it's gold.
Yeah, no, I'm taking full credit for it. We'll just leave it as is. I'm happy to say like stop everything so everyone knows this was the moment that I coined the phrase sandbag for Flagg. And so we did talk briefly about they would not put BRANDIN PODZIEMSKI in the trade for Markkinen. Apparently, the reporting on this has been very limited. Who knows what Ainge really was demanding? But there are some people that believe Warriors. By the way, Warriors Twitter's been on fire for 2 days. Like every Warriors fan on Twitter, like that has a big following, is like, fucking get PODZIEMSKI out of here. Get Markkinen right now. And so I don't think nobody wants Kuminga because he's due for his extension, and they're saying he's asking for the same extension that what's the kid's name in Toronto? They just got him from the Knicks. The Knicks 6-man. Oh my God. This is insane. I can't think of this. Yeah, exactly. Emmanuel quickly just signed 5 for $275 with Toronto. And that's what apparently Kuminga's people want for Kuminga. And
where was Quickly before the Knicks?
No, the Knicks drafted him. This was his first extension.
Okay.
Yeah. He went to Kentucky.
Yeah, that's
right. I was actually thinking about him recently that after watching Tyrese Maxey really take off, it actually wouldn't totally. I've never been super high on Quickly, but it wouldn't totally shock me if having a full offseason and then kind of being given the keys to an offense in Toronto that he turns it. He kind of plays like Maxey. I never really
very quick.
Yeah, I've never really loved him, but Maxi becoming this good was not something anybody kind of predicted. And maybe if that's quickly ceiling, then that's sick. Um,
Maxi also just started shooting lights out.
well, quickly can shoot. Quickly's been
Yeah,
his
I mean,
career has been a good
as
3-point
long as he
shooter.
continues to improve, because Maxi
Yeah,
just slowly got better and better, and then all of a sudden he was just lights out.
yeah. This is kind of a detour, but I think it's good. I was thinking about the Sixers for this upcoming season, and I like what they did. They really lucked out that Paul George ended up being available because now they have like a legit team. But I hate Embiid so much that I don't believe that he'll ever be the best team or the best player on like an Eastern Conference Finals team. And the only way that they'll be in the mix this year is if Maxi's the best player on their team, which I think is actually
Mm.
possible. I really like Maxi, but I think that like the last 7 years were Embiid's years, and that you saw what happened. Second round exit, first round exit,
Yeah,
like hurt, fat, all that, and now like Maxi just got his huge extension, and they brought in Paul George, and Paul George is like a perfect third fiddle to those two because he's just Paul George. And then if Maxi's down to like take over and like what he did in that Knicks series was sick. He
yeah,
he was significantly better than Embiid in the Knicks series, way better.
yeah.
Um,
Remember those two threes he hit to send
Unbelievable.
that one game to overtime?
Yes. What do you mean? I had Knicks money line to end like the I think the under that whole that was yeah it was excruciating. I remember it very clearly.
Whoops. No,
Just dig up old wounds. Um,
no.
but so Kuminga's due for the extension, so the Jazz don't want him. So apparently they wanted Podziemski, Moody, and some combination of Peyton and Looney, and then all of our first round picks. Um, and I wouldn't have done it. Now, unfortunately, now this is the roster they're going into the season with. I kind of want to read it to you. It's pretty insane that Klay Thompson's not on the Warriors.
Well, I mean, I guess the offseason didn't go like exactly how they had hoped. I mean, there were all sorts of Paul George rumors. There were all sorts of Laurie rumors. Clay was, maybe going to resign.
Yes.
They were going to maybe do something to make the team better
Right.
with the potential of signing somebody very good.
Right.
And now we're like, whoa, you want pods? Whoa, whoa, hold on. uh, hard pass. We're definitely locking in our second point guard. We have Steph, but we want the backup too. We have to have pods.
Steph Curry turning 37, I believe,
I
during
mean,
this season.
I think Steph can realistically play till he's 40
This was something
in
that
just his body type and the way he plays basketball from the perimeter, and he can't he can't guard anybody already. Like that's pretty much gone, I think.
yeah,
I mean,
I think he's underrated as a defender. Like he's not as bad as like Dame Lillard or like some of the like really or like
no, he's not.
Poole. Like there's some like really
That's just
bad.
effort. That's just straight up effort because he
Right.
does try.
He tries.
Yeah.
Right. So he's significantly better than the worst defenders in the league, but you're right. He's not like gonna stop anybody. But
That's not saying a whole lot though, because there's just very few defenders now who can just stop somebody. Like the NBA
well,
is so favored towards the offense,
yeah,
but
and like yeah,
he's declined.
I just don't think him being bad on defense is really as big of a like negative as everyone pretends it is because yeah, like he's middle of the pack with like as like defensive guards. Like there's not really very many defensive really good guards. One of the things that made the Celtics really good, they have two really good defensive guards in White and Holiday. But like even like Jamal, like Jamal Murray is like not a good defender, but he tries really
No.
hard in the playoffs and it's like whatever. But um
I know we love the Warriors,
Mhm.
and I've been down on them for a while.
Mhm.
I really think it's over. Like
Yeah.
over.
Yeah. Well,
This
if they
was
don't,
this offseason was just the final straw. Because
yeah.
this roster stinks. And I can't believe that Pods is the guy that they were unwilling to part with. I really can't. Like, he's not gonna win. Like, if he's their future point guard, it's not like he's gonna lead a team to a championship. Brandin
Yeah.
Podziemski.
Yeah, probably not. But I'm gonna go on record now, and I love pods.
I do too.
I know, but I actually think I actually see him as having like bigger Jalen Brunson like upside. Like he's a very big guard. There was a clip of him and Trace Jackson Davis were standing next to each other on the court at the select team camp for the USA, and he's like with his hair, he's like almost the same size as Trace Jackson Davis. Like he's a very big 6'4", 6'5". He plays hard on defense. He's a decent defender. He's a good playmaker. I saw something that showed his rookie stats right next to Brunson's rookie stats. He kind of reminds me. I know that's kind of lazy because they're both left-handed, but I I'm not disagreeing with you that it's not over because I think at least if you get Laurie in, you have another all-star. The reason I really didn't like the trade is Laurie doesn't put the ball on the like Laurie doesn't create his own shot at an elite level. He's kind of another play finisher guy. Like he's lights out catch and shoot, and he's like, oh, he's open, cut for a dunk. He's basically like the best version of what we have with Kuminga. Like he's like if we could just that's where like if we could have just traded Kuminga
I
for Markkanen, then I actually think this team's really good. I really like D'Anthony Melton. I really like Kyle Anderson. I really like that if we can get Moody some minutes. I'm not sure what Buddy Hield is going to look like in the like Buddy Hield is like captain, like what are you doing?
yeah.
Like every time I've ever had money on a team that Buddy Hield is playing on, I'm like, Buddy Hield, what are you doing? And then
Yeah. He's also a nightmare to like bet against, and then he's just draining, just getting buckets.
every time I bet against him, he literally just dribbles past half court and fucking cashes every shot. So yeah, it's gonna be a roller coaster. I think it's gonna be very similar to when we remember we had Oubre. That year we had Oubre, and it was like it
One
was
of my
like
least favorite Warriors of all time to watch.
yeah, he's not as good of a fit because he can't shoot as well. Like Buddy's a better fit stylistically for how we play, but Buddy is just as bad at knowing what to do in the flow of a read and react motion offense, and it's gonna be really funny.
Yeah. Um, I think he also plays no defense. He's another guy who can't guard anybody. I
No
could score on
defense.
Buddy. I could take Buddy off the dribble all day.
I've
Uh,
seen I've seen some people suggesting that Buddy Hield is going to be the starting shooting guard, and I do not believe that he's even I don't believe that he's the second string shooting guard. I think that they're gonna go into the season with
I
Curry,
can I can already
Pajemski.
just go ahead.
Well, I think our starting five as of today is Curry, Pajemski, Wiggins, Kuminga, and Draymond. And then first off the bench will be
I mean,
Melton.
that's small.
Very small, right? And I think
And
Trace Jackson Davis is going to play a lot, and D'Anthony Melton is going to play, I think, in the backup two, and Pojemski will play the point guard, the second unit point guard minutes.
do you
So
think this roster as it is right now is a playoff team in the West?
I do. I know that you're going to roast me for it, but I still. I think Steph Curry is still so good that if he's healthy and plays 65 or 70 games, you just have a shot at winning 48, 50 games whenever he's on your team. And Oh, that's what I was gonna say. Is watching this USA stuff, what you were saying about Steph playing into his 40s, watching Team USA and watching the three, like, I know they haven't, Steph hasn't been great actually he's been really bad. Let's just say that. But watching Steph and LeBron and KD be kind of like the focal points of what Team USA basketball is in their late 30s, I'm like not sure that those guys aren't all going to be good for like another 3 or 4 seasons. Like they're like
I
they
mean, yeah.
like, dude, they're still so good. Why? Like, what is about, like, everyone keeps saying, like, oh, they have to get old or they have to break down eventually. And, like, Kevin Durant does not play a style of basketball that's hard on his body. He, like,
I think
rockers.
Steph is the most likely to fall off of those three. Because of
He might
Steph.
fall off on the ability to, like, take over and run pick and roll and get to the rim and, like, be, like, a really, really efficient, high volume shot maker, maybe. I don't think it's gonna happen next year though.
Probably, I don't think so. I think he's got a couple of years, but I think as soon as his ability to separate, which it kind of already is, like he has a lot. Do you remember when he used to create his own shot and he'd just get open, just dribble himself open and hit step back threes? And he doesn't do that nearly as much. The guys around him aren't shooters.
That's why.
Like, as soon as Clay started to fall off, Steph was really struggling.
My opinion is the reason that he's looks worse is there's the team that he's had around him has been brutal. But yeah.
And it's not better. This team's not better. As far as at least shooting the ball.
I would say
unless Pods is like a sharpshooter, unless Pods is just stroking it.
I think Podziemski and Trace Jackson Davis are both really good. But I do think this roster is better than last year's roster. I do. I think the minutes basically that D'Anthony Melton, Kyle Anderson, and who's the other guy that
Buddy?
Well, I guess yeah. I guess I'm just expecting Wiggins to be better, a little bit better, and I know.
We've seen Wiggins play well for like one playoff run
for like 4 months, like literally.
Dude, not even
since he left Kansas, he's played good basketball for like 90 days one time.
Yeah.
I just love Wiggins. I just love Wiggins though because he guards, bro. He's really a good defensive player.
Last year he couldn't guard anybody.
Well, he was, yeah.
Every other year, yes. But last year he was terrible. I don't know why. He also just looked really skinny. He's just never seems like he cares.
I know. So
he's really he's a frustrating warrior.
Yeah. I think they're still trying to trade him probably. But...
Here are my thoughts on the Warriors. I don't think they're a playoff team.
Yeah.
I think everybody who made the playoffs last year, with exception of the Clippers and maybe Sacramento, I do think Sac will make it though.
Yeah, Sac will be good.
They'll probably be good. I think Houston is a playoff team. Potentially, they'll be close. They'll be on the cusp. I think Memphis is a playoff team.
Memphis is going to be really good.
The Spurs are a playoff team, or at least on the cusp. They're like in the playing game, I believe. But I think
they should be right around 40 wins. I would imagine. I would say that they're going to be flirting with 500.
Yeah. If health breaks their way, I think they'll be in the top 6 with Wemby. If Chris Paul plays like 70 games, 65, 70 games, I just think Wemby's that good, and I think they are better than last year, and we saw how good they were at the end of last season. I just don't. To me, I think Houston and I think Memphis will be in this year, and I think the Clippers are out. Who else is going to fall out? Are the Lakers going to fall out? Probably not. I think the Warriors are the team that's going to fall out. They're just a year older. They have no size. Like Trace Jackson.
Trace is good.
Draymond. No one else. Looney is terrible. Who else? What other big do they have? They don't have any. Is Draymond going to be Draymond?
Well, Kyle Anderson plays kind of big. I mean, he's like a four. He's like a playmaking four. He'll play Draymond's position when Draymond's resting. They have like another Draymond kind of. Um, yeah, I mean, he's not that good, but yeah,
Kyle Anderson's not another Draymond.
yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't think they're going to be good. It's
There's
also
a
really hard having Draymond on the floor. Draymond has declined. You can just see it.
you know what's
Where he used
crazy,
to challenge. Do you remember how many shots he used to challenge, like at the rim?
dude? You know what's crazy is I would have said a month ago, I would have told you my like strongest take coming into this season would be that Draymond's gonna have like an all-pro, unbelievable season after what he did last year. And I just saw a clip of him yesterday, like at a camp, and he's like fat. Like I'm like
And he's like
so
yelling at kids about complaining about calls.
Come down, I need to get a three. And ain't nobody Steph Curry. But everybody want to get to three. Shooting it well. But you took 3 bad ones in a row. Or you took 2, one of y'all took another one. Right? And then y'all cried about every call that was called. I get a lot of texts. So I'm actually fucked up on that part. But it's also cost me $2.5 million. Which is more money than probably everybody in here paying to make that ain't a rich kid. It's probably 50 times the amount of money my mom made in her life. So it'll cost you. And also, what have y'all done to get calls? I was this close from, by the way, not giving y'all one. And there's nothing any of y'all can say. So why are we crying about calls? Let's speak up.
He's like completely out of his mind.
he was yelling at
But it was like a 2-minute rant. And he's just yelling at these kids about complaining about calls. Like, what have they done to complain about a call?
and he's 25 pounds overweight, dude.
Yeah.
He looks really, really bad.
So what I was going to
He
challenge
in the-
his defense is not as good as it was. He can't challenge shots at the rim. He was like our shot blocker, our enforcer.
Yeah,
Dude.
he was in a really
But
sick defensive
the
anchor.
thing about his vertical was he also used to dunk the ball.
Mhm.
And now that he can't, I mean, I assume he can dunk if he really wanted to, but he can't make layups. And he tries to make these like all these floaters. He can't, he just airballs his floaters or just like smokes layups. On the perimeter, they don't even guard him. They just leave him wide open in the corner or at the top of the arc, and he catches the ball wide open and like looks like he wants to shoot and then wants to pass and then fires up a shot and just bricks. It's like they're playing.
I really thought he was going to like have a sick offseason, like be in the lab all summer and then come out and like
Based on
shoot.
what?
I know. I'm just a like a chronic Draymond apologist, dude. I just love the guy
know,
so
I
much.
used to be,
but,
and
but I think you're right, dude. I think he's just like disillusioned to the point. I don't know. I've been firmly in the camp of like people saying that he ruined the dynasty or he blew everything up, blah blah blah. I pushed back on that just because I think Jordan Poole once he got his contract extension was headed towards some kind of really bad. He was changing into a player that we didn't really want anyway. So I don't know how much that punch affected the Poole thing, and we got off his contract, and I'm fine with that. And Chris Paul, whatever, it was fine. But the ways that he's damaged the team with, like, I do believe that affected Wiggins and Looney, and like the way that he seems to not understand the impact that he's having and like what he's saying. Like even his like everything about him is just like, dude, like just like have one good full regular season with no nonsense. It was basically like when it's almost the same to me now as when Kyrie came back after like retweeting some like Nazi propaganda video. He came back and was like, "Why is the media always out to get me?" It's like, dude, what do you mean? Like just like have a regular normal season and then say that. So I don't know. I sent you the clip. I want to go to a couple things that you said I do want to touch on. Wemby has as France beat Canada yesterday, which was a huge upset. They were like 8-point dogs in that game, maybe 8.5, something like that. But Rudy Gobert got benched. So Rudy got benched by his coach, and then he said
And
afterwards,
that's what Draymond's really focused on.
I know, he's so petty. But that so after the game, Rudy said he had surgery on his finger, and that's why he didn't play. And then the coach was like, "What? No, he had an MRI. I just fucking benched him because."
Yeah.
And so I agree with Draymond that Rudy's one of the more overrated players. Maybe in like the modern era. Like I've this is now like another iteration of like, oh, what do you know? I mean, yeah, dude.
I don't know. So the Warriors finished 10th last year.
Mhm. I guess
You
yeah.
think
I'm
they're? You think
I'm just
where would
counting
you
on
expect them to finish this
I'm
year?
counting on Draymond to have a regular season, and I don't know why I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt because that's what I think it hinges on. I still think he's a really good player, and if him and Steph play in 70 games, then those two guys are still like in that like sixth, seventh in the West of like best two-man guys.
Mm-hmm.
They're like on par with Phoenix and a little better than Sacramento. If those two guys are like play and have like regular seasons.
Yeah, I mean, we both love Memphis, right? This year to make the playoffs. That team's gonna be
Yeah.
good.
My two early favorite bets for the NBA that we should actually just look up so I can just lock them in right now so that we can watch the market is um I think Memphis is a lock to go over their regular season win total, and I think Denver's a lock to go under. Um, I think that those two numbers are going to head towards each other as we get closer to the season. That's the only reason I mention them now. I would imagine that both of those numbers end up right around 50 when the season starts.
Mm-hmm.
That Memphis and Denver, because I was thinking sandbag for flag and in line with the Warriors and everything else. I was thinking what would be the best trade, the best place or the funniest or the most interesting place for Steph Curry to demand a trade to so that the Warriors could just tank. Because I mean, like if you're right, I mean, I'm not saying that I'm necessarily right, but if you're right, then they should absolutely tank and trade Steph Curry. And because next year, supposedly there's three like franchise cornerstones, like three top guys, and then the next year, Carlos Boozer's son is supposed to be like a home run number one. Um, so there's like two or three guys at the top of both of the next two drafts, and we have our own draft picks. So
Yeah.
if you traded Steph, then you go full
Well,
all
there's
in.
there's that
Uh,
one team who really needs a point guard. Phoenix Suns.
They don't have any more picks though.
I mean, there's a couple teams that would be really sick with Steph, like Orlando.
I was thinking about
Like,
Denver. I was thinking about Denver.
I mean, yeah,
I
Denver.
was I was thinking what because they don't have a lot of picks either. I was thinking what if you said, hey, Jamal Murray's still on the right side of 30. You give us Jamal Murray, we sit him for a year and get him healthy. We let Kaminga like run the offense into the ground. Just like, hey man, you go ahead. Let's see what you got. But we got to figure out if we're going to give you this extension.
They'd have
It's
to trade
just
Draymond too, because he would be so
well,
upset.
100%.
Yeah, yeah.
If Steph's getting traded, Draymond might commit suicide.
Retire.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, he has to. He's out. I would say his trade value is low because of the extension too. So like you could
He's probably a
probably.
package deal. It'd have to be Steph and Draymond.
Well, I don't think many teams would want like the best play. As I was thinking that actually when I was thinking about this earlier, and I was thinking that okay, maybe they go somewhere together. But the only place that I think would really want to do that would be the Lakers. I think LeBron and AD would be like, yeah, we'll take them both.
I think the Spurs would do it because I think Pop and Draymond would work.
Whoa.
Draymond with
Now
respect.
you're
Yeah.
talking.
Then
So
you got
when
Draymond and you got Draymond playing with Wemby, which
so are the
would be
Warriors
so sick.
Are the Warriors taking Chris Paul back again?
Yeah. Yeah, we'll take Chris Paul and Sochan and
There would, I mean,
Zach Collins.
that one would be like, it would be Sochan would definitely be in it. It would be Sochan and probably that kid Gilmore, the kid from UConn they just drafted, and then like 4 first round picks, like all their picks or something.
Yeah, for Steph
And
Draymond, and then they just sandbag for Flag.
And they sandbag for Flag, and they figure out if Kuminga is a thing, and Podziemski and Kuminga just like put their hands up at each other in frustration for
They probably just
6 months.
let Kuminga pad all of his stats and then trade him too.
Yeah, maybe.
Let him just run wild and average 30 points a game.
Yeah.
And yeah,
And then
they build around. I guess they build around Pods and Trace Jackson Jr. And then they get Flag. They have to trade Wiggins, or I refuse to believe in this plan at all.
So
Wiggins, I want Wiggins if we're tanking, and I want him playing a lot. I want him out there.
So the Spurs 5-man like closing playoff rotation becomes Steph Curry, Harrison Barnes. Maybe let's say they keep Chris Paul. It's Chris Paul, Steph Curry, Harrison Barnes, Draymond, and Wembanyama. It's kind of sick.
I don't think Chris Paul would start. He would back up Steph. You got to go.
Yeah, but Steph loves to play off the ball, and all those other guys can shoot pretty good. Like I know Barnes is not like a knockdown shooter, but
sure. If Chris Paul's
Vassell. No, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, they have
Vassell.
They have.
Dude, that team's sick.
Options. That team wins the championship.
Yeah.
I mean, it's saying. I mean, you got to add Steph Curry and Draymond to Wemby.
Yeah,
but
they'd be sick. What about and then so the other fun one I would just really like to see Denver with Steph running around Jokic. It just would be like a really fun basketball team to watch. And there's no way that Denver wants Draymond. Like no way.
Yeah.
Like so it would have to be Draymond would get sent to, the Pistons or someone that wants him. Like, you know what I mean? Like maybe Milwaukee. Somebody would take him.
Do you think the Lakers would want him?
No,
you don't think LeBron would want him?
I do. If you're sending Steph and Draymond as a package deal,
No.
Just Draymond.
Just Draymond.
No, I think LeBron. I think because they can't shoot. I guess it depends on what you're giving up. Would you trade? Because the Warriors aren't doing it for D'Angelo Russell. I mean, I guess if you're trying to tank, if you give us a first and D'Angelo Russell, you have Draymond. Yeah, I guess the Lakers would do that.
Mm-hmm.
The Lakers would do that, and just like
what about Austin Reeves in a first?
The Lakers would never. The Lakers ain't doing that. No way. Yeah. The Warriors, are you kidding me? If we were trading Steph and then the Lakers called and we're like, we'll give you Austin Reeves in a first round pick for Draymond. We'd be like, hold on, sign the paperwork right now.
Yeah. I think we'd have to trade, if you're smart, you'd trade Draymond first.
Just so that
there's more trade. It's harder to pull him away from Steph. But if Steph's already gone, everyone's going to know he wants out.
Yeah.
You trade Draymond first. And then then you call up. What about Orlando with Steph? That would be pretty sick too with Paolo, the Wagner boys.
Yeah, so you'd be getting back. What's the matching salary? You have to.
I mean, that team would have been so good last year with Steph.
You have to bring back $40 million though to match, or $50 million to match Steph's salary is the thing. So it'd be like you'd have to bring back like Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. And you think the Magic would do it for Franz Wagner? You think they would trade Franz Wagner for Steph Curry?
No.
For Steph Curry?
No.
Whoa.
Dude, he's got like
I did not. I know
it's like 2 or 3 years.
He's 22 years old.
Yeah, Franz is sick, and he's got a long.
He is really sick.
Yeah, no. They'd counter for Mo.
They send Mo Wagner.
They
World
just
Trade-
they'd agree, and then they would send Mo.
Yeah. Here you go. Oh, weird. You got the wrong one.
Yeah.
That's weird.
That's
Mo
weird.
Wagner showed up. I'm like, we told Franz to go. Classic mix up.
Yep. Oh,
Well,
yeah. I think it's gonna be a long Warrior season.
well, I'll be there for it. You know
Yeah,
me.
I know you will. I know you will. I might check out after the first 5 games.